Hello everyone. So today we are going to continue from task 2 of this project on C recursion. So this task here says we should write a function that returns the length of a string. Okay, so this is the prototype to the function, and then this is the string in which we are going to find the length for. So this str length is a standard library function that is used to perform the same operation here. So when we're talking about pointers, we wrote a function similar to this which is going to find the length of whatever string is passed to it, right? So today we are not going to use the same method we used in the previous task, in the previous project on pointers to solve this problem. In the previous projects we used what? We used loops, right? We simply need to loop over the entire string, and then for each iteration we increment the value of count, right? But for this case we are going to use recursion. So like I said, we cannot use loops where we are dealing with recursive problems, okay, most of the times. So how do we solve this problem? So the first thing we need to do is, let me explain this concept here on my paint. So assuming we have H, A, P, P, Y, right? Assuming I have something like this. So what I want to do is, I can just tell my function that it should check for the first character. Assuming this is what? This is S, right? This is the pointer. S is pointing to this, right? This is just the data type of type car here. So if I should do something like this, this is what? A pointer. So asterisk S will point to what? The first character here, right? Which is H. So I can simply set a condition that if asterisk S, that is whatever the value of S is at that position, is not equals to the terminating null byte, then this is when I want to do something. If it is not equals to terminating null byte, I cannot count what? I cannot say we have counted what? One character, because it is not what? A terminating null byte, right? So all I'm going to do here is I will just say inside my statement, I will just say return what? Return 1, right? I'm going to return 1. So plus what? Since I only counted the first character here, right? So now I'm done with this. So I need to pass the remaining characters to the function again. And how do I get the remaining characters? I've explained this. We simply use S plus 1. Since this is index 0 initially, so it's going to pass it from index 1 up to the end of the string, right? So what I'm going to do here is I will recursively call this function again, assuming the function name is str, for instance. So I'll call the function again, and I will pass in the remaining characters to this function, which is what? S plus 1. S plus 1 will give me what? The remaining characters. So I will just say str here, and then I will pass S plus 1. So this is saying what? This is saying that, okay, whatever is remaining from index 1, pass it to the function again. So, and what is this function going to do? Don't forget, this function is going to return this, the whole of this, 1 plus strs plus 1, right? So after this function is being called, after this character is passed to the function, now asterisk x will target which character? This character here, because it is the first character A. So it will check, this condition will now be executed. Is it the terminating null byte? No. If it is not the terminating null byte, then this portion here alone is going to return what? It is going to return 1 plus str, and then the remaining characters S plus 1 as well. I'm talking about just this part here I cycled. So initially we already have 1 here, right? So it is going to be 1 plus 1, whatever this function return. So here we are going to get what? 2 plus str, isn't it? S plus 1. So now we've passed from which part? We've counted 2 characters here. So now we are passing from this portion here up to where? Up to the end of the string, to our what? Function again. Do you get it? So now we have 2 plus str s plus 1. So this portion here, str s plus 1, is calling this particular, sorry, is taking this particular character here. So asterisk s will check, is this the terminating number? That is this condition here. If it is not the terminating number, then it will return what? 1 plus str s plus 1. So I'm going to have what? 1 plus str s plus 1. That is what this part here is going to return, this part I cycled. So as you can see here, we already have 2. It means we've counted 2 characters before the next call to the recursive function, right? So it is going to be 2 plus what? Plus 1. So this is going to be 3 plus what? str s plus 1 here, right? So now this str s plus 1 here is going to consider which character? We've checked for this. It's going to check from this part here, right? From P to Y. So it will check, asterisk s will check, is it equals to terminating number? That's the first character here. No, it is not. So this particular portion here is going to return what? It's going to return 1 plus strs plus 1. So 1 plus strs plus 1 will be returned. So initially we have 3 here, right? It means we've counted 3 characters before this recursive call, right? So I will just pass in what? 3 plus 1 here. So now I have what? 4 plus strs plus 1. So it means I've counted 4 characters, so I will cancel out this. Do you get it? So now we need to pass what? Sorry, this part here now is now considering which character is considering from y up to the end of the string, right? So asterisk s will consider y now. Is y equals to terminating or byte? No. So this function here, this recursive call here is going to return 1 plus, because what? Why is it returning 1? Because this character is not a terminating nor byte. So it's going to return 1, and also it will pass in the remaining characters to the function again. So it's going to be s plus 1. So initially we have 4 here, right before this call. So it's going to be 4 plus 1, then plus strs plus 1. So this is going to be what? 5 plus str, right? S plus 1. Do you get? So now we have 5 characters. So here I'm supposed to have a terminating nor byte. So this strs plus 1 now will now target what? The terminating nor byte here, right? It will target the terminating number. So it will check, asterisk s will check, is the character at that position the terminating nor byte? Yes, it is terminating number. So it will jump out of the if statement. So it means that this part here is not going to return anything. It's not going to be executed. So we are left with what? We are left with 5. So 5 is the exact number of characters we have here, HAPPY. So as you can see, we've written a function that is going to what? That is going to count the length of a string. So this is the pattern we generated. This pattern here, return 1 plus strs plus 1. This is supposed to be what our function is going to return. Okay, so here, let me open the file. That's this task 2, right? So 2, okay, let me check the file name. Okay, 2strlen. So this, all right. So as you can see, I have my Betty documented already. So now we just need to pass in whatever we did on the pin. So the first thing is we need to check if whatever is at that position of s is not equals to the terminating nor byte, right? So if it is not equals to terminating nor byte, then what should happen? We just need to return. So I'll just say return what? 1 plus a recursive call to the function. So I'll copy the function and then I'll paste here. So it's going to take what parameter? S plus 1. So this is supposed to give us the exact output. So here the function is returning an int, so we can just say return a 0. That's all. So let's run Betty on this file. So Betty to strlen. Yeah, so Betty is fine. So let's copy the test file and let's check. So this is going to be vi to main.c, right? .c. So here I will just paste, right? So here I need to make this correction, #i. All right, so let's compile. Let's compile the program. Compile. Okay, it says what? Okay, I used a capital case. I used a capital case S instead of a small case s. So here I need to remove this and make it a small case. Yeah, so I think this should be fine now. All right, so as you can see, it has been compiled. So let's run it. So did you see that we got the exact value? Let me display it again, 14. We got the exact number of characters here. If you can count this, you're going to get 14. So this is simply how you can find the length of a string recursively. Okay, I'm sure you know how to do this using loop. So this is using recursion. Okay, so we are going to stop here. Don't forget to add, commit, and push to your GitHub. In the next video, we are going to continue from task 3 of this project. So thank you very much. Till meet in our next session.